comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter.
It's just one of billions of stars in the Milky Way, but to us, it's that great big hot ball of awesome we call the Sun. It is in a G2 spectral class and has a luminosity classification of 5. Hence, it is a G25 main sequence star. It's our patron yellow dwarf, the ultimate fusion reactor. To understand it would be to understand elementary matter. Its turbulent core generates a twisting and looping magnetic field which gives an indication of the movements of the gases beneath the surface, helping us predict sunspots, flares, and coronal mass ejections. The Sun is so hot it literally boils away its outer layers, creating the solar wind. The plasma excites the gases in our thermosphere, causing them to release photons. Even at night, we can appreciate what the Sun gives us. And the daytime isn't so bad either. We were formed as a byproduct of its creation, but alas, despite its venerable glory as a true fount of life, the Sun no longer rates as a deity, as it has so often in the past. Hey look kids, it's a Ron-Ra! But still not the right Ra. Later, Iran. Hey, there's our guy! Okay, tough crowd. Let's try this then. Well, now we're cooking. And by cooking, I mean this guy wore the sun on his head. But here's the story. In the beginning, there was only the Sea of Chaos. From it rose the Ma'at, the concept of order, which manifested itself in the form of Ra, the first god. But he was alone and surrounded by chaos. So he summoned other gods and was their king. In his solar boat, Ra traversed the heavens in triumph over chaos. As chaos receded, it manifested into a serpent called Apophis, the god of chaos who hated all creation. By the 5th dynasty, Ra became the major deity in Egyptian religion. The cult of Ra was centered in Iyunu, the place of pillars where he was melded with the local sun god, Atum. Ra was also combined with other gods like Osiris and Horus. In fact, they became a veritable trinity. Let's not leave out the pharaohs who claimed themselves earthly manifestations of Ra, or as they like to be called, the sons of Ra. Gaia, the personification of Earth itself, was one of the protogenoi, the primordial deities who form the very fabric of the universe. All the heavenly gods were descended from her unions with the other elemental gods. Uranos, her sibling, was the literal sky, just as she was the literal earth. Though capable of parthenogenesis, they produced 18 deities the old-fashioned way, by sexual reproduction. Here we have proud Gaia with 2 of those Titan offspring, Hyperion and his sister Thea. In turn, they produce a squadron of Titans, not the least of whom was Helios, the Titan god of the sun. He lives in a golden palace at the eastern ends of the earth, where he emerges each dawn on a chariot with flaming winged horses. When he reaches the west, he descends into a golden cup that carries him back to his palace. In all depictions, he's crowned with the shining aureole of the sun. He's written about by Homer, Hesiod, Ovid, Seneca, Aeschylus, Pindar, and Aesop. He is also the Colossus of Rhodes. Remember the Egyptian city of Iyunu? Under Greek rule, it is renamed Heliopolis. As the ideas of gods became more fully developed, so too did their representations. Apollo's image was the perfect ideal of youthful manliness. Even the other Olympians were embarrassed by his beauty. He had a thing for the ladies and the lads. Due to some downsizing as a result of the hostile takeover of the Titans, the Olympians multitasked. Apollo was not only god of the sun, but god of prophecy, archery, music, poetry, disease, and healing. Gone was the diadem of the sun, in its place a simple laurel wreath. Gone were the flaming winged steeds in favor of familiar horses. In the later period of the Roman Empire, political and religious conditions are slurred over as the period of Roman decadence. Into this are injected the simultaneous encroachment of two powerful cults, solar deism and Christianity. While Christians became persecuted, the cult of the sun god was granted a place in Roman public worship by Emperor Aurelian. Enter Sol Invictus, sporting a familiar sunburst crown. He was the personification of the sun and annual rebirth. He had no need of chariot, boat, or other conveyance. The Natalis Solis Invicti becomes the official Roman festival of the 25th of December. Christians continued to be persecuted until the year 313, when Emperor Constantine, also known as Saint Constantine, famously proclaimed religious tolerance throughout the empire. Sol Invictus continued to appear alongside the emperor on imperial coins, but this was part of a larger campaign to absorb the solar deists into Christianity. Here's Sol Invictus looking a lot like the Christ. Here's the Christ looking a lot like Sol Invictus. The result? So good it went by unnoticed. In the second millennium BCE, the Chinese first recorded a solar eclipse. In the first millennium BCE, the Vedic literature of India refers to the sun as the center of spheres. In the 7th century BCE, Egyptian astronomers predict a solar eclipse. 586 BCE, Thales of Miletus predicts a solar eclipse. 280 BCE, Aristarchus of Samos suggests a heliocentric cosmos when he uses the Earth's shadow on the moon to measure the distance from Earth to the sun. 28 BCE, the Book of Han is first to record a sunspot. The year 499, Aryabhata suggests a heliocentric universe. 1150, the Catholic Church adopts the Ptolemaic geocentric model of the universe. 1514, Copernicus states his heliocentric theory. 1610, Galileo aims a telescope at the heavens and sees a blemished and rotating sun. He also discovers its rotation differential at 27 days at its equator and 31 days at the poles. Not quite the perfect creation of God the Church envisioned. In the 1850s, Vatican chief astronomer Father Angelo Secchi pioneers the spectroscopy of the sun, confirming Galileo's rendering of an imperfect work of God. 1859, Robert Wilhelm Bunsen and Gustav Robert Kirchhoff perfected spectroscopy and turned it towards the night sky. They recognized the chemical patterns immediately. A great mystery of the heavens had been solved. Our sun was a star. 1862, Father Secchi confirms the findings of Bunsen and Kirchhoff. 1905, Einstein publishes a paper suggesting photons are real. 1962, Mariner 2 confirms the existence of solar winds. 1973, Skylab aims X-rays at the sun. 1990, spacecraft Ulysses explores the sun. 1992, the Church lifts its Edict of Inquisition against Galileo. 1995, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory is launched. 1997, the Advanced Composition Explorer is launched. 2010, the Solar Dynamics Observatory is launched. 3 years beyond our solar system, Voyagers 1 and 2 continue to monitor solar winds. In the past 400 years, science has pulled back the blinding layers of our sun to reveal a star, an engine of creation, a cosmic mechanism that helps us better understand the universe, so that one day, in 5 billion years or so, we're not caught unaware of the inevitable.